everyone, welcome back to another Collaborative Sports Media episode. I'm joined by Max Hatzoglou. Maxie, good to have you on board.
Thanks, Fawkes. Good to be here, mate.
Very good. This episode's about you and your partnership with Collaborative Sports Media with your new podcast, Head Over the Footy. We'll jump straight into it. What is Head Over the Footy and how's it intertwined with Collaborative Sports Media?
Yeah, well, Head Over the Footy is a platform where we talk about all the AFL things. So we got interviews, podcast, opinion, and a number of other things. So, and reaction as well, I should say. So they're the four sort of concepts, and we've also got some things on the side like tipping and other concepts. But yeah, the partnership with Collaborative Sports Media is a really good one. Obviously, at CSM, they've got a number of different podcasts on board, so it's really good to be able to join that group and potentially work with each other. Obviously, I get to get the eyeballs of people that consume other podcasts, but then my podcast as well will be able to be seen by others who consume other podcasts. So yeah, it's really good to be on board, and yeah, Head Over the Footy. It's exciting. We've got a few exciting things coming up.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer the question that I know the answer to, but I'll let you speak about it. You've obviously done a bit of solo hosting yourself and had a really good start to Head Over the Footy leading into the 2024 season. Are there any changes logistically with the podcast coming up?
Yes, Fawkes. You obviously are asking the question, but you know about it because you'll be on the podcast. So very exciting to announce that we will be having a podcast with yourself, Will Faulkner, and Anna Pavlou, both really polished media performers, and it's really good to be able to coming together. Us three will be doing an episode every Monday, and it'll be coming out, and it'll just be talking about all the action that's happened from the weekend, discussing all the news, the games, and all the things that happen in the world of footy. So that'll be coming out every single Monday, and yeah, hopefully it's a podcast that people can enjoy, and it'll be another offering at Head Over the Footy. So it'll be one of our big ticket items, as well as we'll still be doing little opinion videos. We'll try and do some interviews as well, which will get started soon, and also reaction stuff, watching games live. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be a part of it, Max. So Head Over the Footy is obviously a concept you've had in the last couple of months, and as I said before, hit the ground running. What was it for you that made you decide that you wanted to start a podcast specifically to do with footy?
I'm already doing some work this season with the Herald Sun covering AFL games. I'm also going on TV with C31. And I remember last season, AFLW, I was covering games for the Herald Sun, and I'd have all this information, and it'd be really good for the article. But then I'd feel like I've still got so much information here that I've got in my mind that I'm not using. So I thought, coming into this AFL season, I'm going to be covering games. I'm going to be doing a little bit of TV. But there's still room there to be able to produce more content with the knowledge I've got. So because I'm doing a lot of research, I'll be looking to get this knowledge out there to the people and have a bit of opinion pieces, podcasts and different stuff. So this footy platform, Head Over the Footy, hopefully can shine a light on some of that research I'm doing and get it all out there because, in previous seasons, I feel like it's gone to waste a little bit, potentially haven't used some of it. So very exciting this year. Got the platform off the ground, up and running, and really looking forward to hopefully putting it out there and delighting a few people. Sometimes it might not be positive, sometimes it might be positive. So really exciting, and that was one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to start Head Over the Footy.
100%. It's a good platform to, as you said, expand on the ideas you previously had working within the Herald Sun. Were there other places beforehand that sort of, what's your work experience within the media industry like for you? You've had a pretty quick rise into obviously reporting onto AFL games and the like. Where did it sort of all begin for you in a professional sense?
So yeah, when I was younger, I used to do a few podcasts, and that's sort of where it started. I did a little bit of writing as well. And a guy called Ralph Barber, he helped me get the first podcast going, which was awesome. And then from there, went over. I got a good opportunity at Oz Stereo and got to work with Triple M, which is part of their company, and got work experience there for 3 days. And then ended up coming back because the producer left. And when I did work experience, the producer rang me and said, "Can you come back? Like, I got to know you while you were doing work experience." So I went back there and started working every morning on Ruin Dits, the breakfast show in Adelaide on Triple M. And that was just an unbelievable experience. Came out of nowhere, sort of impressed them while I was doing work experience, just asked a lot of questions. And that was my foot in the door. And then from there, the opportunity sort of kept following along, and through some connections, I was able to do a bit of writing for NT Cricket, and then picked up a local role in general news. And then after doing that for a few months, got a gig at the Herald Sun and News Corp, which was awesome. So that's sort of how my journey has started. But yeah, I've done work in radio, in writing now, and I've also done a little bit of TV stuff now, which is awesome. And on top of that, I should mention commentary as well, which I've also done. So there's been a wide array of things, and I've covered a lot of different competitions, which I've been truly lucky to do. Like, I wouldn't have thought when I first started, or when I was dreaming about what work could look like and being a journalist, and following in the footsteps of the likes of Mark Robinson and Jared Waitley and all these guys that are on TV. It's been good to be able to actually get my foot in the door and kickstart some of these careers.
100%. That's what you need in the media industry these days. There's a lot of versatility, and it sounds like you've got a fair bit from your small period of time within the professional realms of the sports journalism industry. I'll touch on the writing part. That's obviously a core part of being a journalist, and it always has been. When it comes to breaking stories, that's something that you've done a little bit of. Was there one story in particular for you that you felt really, I don't know, not to say put yourself on the map, but one that got a few clicks and got your hands on first ahead of everyone else?
Yeah, there was one I broke on Zach Merritt while they were looking for their new coach. Ben Rudden, he was done there, and they were searching, and they were taking some job applications and doing some interviews, and James Hird was one of the coaches that was interviewing for the role. And Zach Merritt, he was at a luncheon, a grand final luncheon, and at that luncheon in front of about 600 people, he said that he didn't want James Hird to coach. So that one got a little bit of traction, and managed to get that story up, and that one got a bit of reaction, which was interesting. But I've also done I've been able to go to the Tiwi Islands, which was an unbelievable experience, watching the Tiwi Island football grand final there. The passion there amongst the Indigenous community was incredible, and seeing the culture and the differences was just amazing. And that was an experience I'll never forget. Got a charter flight over with the NT government sports minister, and got off the plane and watched that grand final happen. Got to interview Andrew Dillon. At the time I was writing for NT News, so got a few comments from him, and took a few snaps and spoke to a few players. That was an unbelievable experience. So I'm sure for many people that have gone up there to watch footy, that they all know how pretty cool it is. So that was certainly one moment that I really enjoyed.
Very good. Now, you're a well-versed man, Maxie, as we've previously spoken about, but you've also got a bit of experience outside of football, cricket. That was something that played a bit of a role in sort of where you are now in the media industry. What's your background with cricket?
Yeah, I've played for Victoria in under-17s and under-19s for South Australia. So during COVID, I went over to South Australia to play, and that was a really good experience. Obviously, COVID was happening in Melbourne, so weren't sure if the season was going to happen here, and decided to go off with my brother and play in Adelaide. So had 2 seasons there, and then came back. Family and friends were all here. Made some really good connections down there in Adelaide, and played with Prospect, and the club there was awesome. Made some really good mates there, and it was an unbelievable experience. Got to play with the under-19s as well. So that was awesome. Despite COVID interrupted that under-19s carnival we did have, we couldn't have a nationwide tournament, but still got to play Victoria, and cricket's been something that's certainly helped along the way. It's just getting that sporting perspective as well as a sports journo, knowing sort of what it's like to be on the field in to a degree is really handy to have, especially when you're on the other side of the fence and you're covering sporting contests. So it's been invaluable, that, and really good, something that I'll reflect on. And it's quite good to have.
Definitely. You've covered a bit of cricket in your time at cricket.com.au as well. Any players that you've had to report on that you've also come across on the field? Any experiences there?
Yeah, well, Spencer Johnson was one. We spoke about this pre-show, but yeah, he's someone that I have come up against. And this was before he was a big name. Obviously now everyone knows him, but got to play against him. And yeah, heaps of other players as well. But yeah, it was a great experience. And going over to Adelaide, I probably did get a bit of exposure there to a lot of professionals, Callum Ferguson, and yeah, the list goes on. Jake Lehman, who's the current captain of South Australia. A lot of different players. There's probably too many to say, but yeah, it was awesome to be able to get that experience. And even in Victoria now, playing Premier Cricket, you do get exposure. So, yeah, it's good to be able to come up against some star players.
Definitely. It gives you a little bit of an extra layer as well when you're reporting. You sort of get a bit of a feel as to what's happening on the inside. And, obviously it's Premier Cricket level, but you still get a good feel for how the boys at the professional level go about it. Max, you've obviously had a lot of experience with cricket players, but bringing it back to footy and head over the footy, you've had a fair bit of experience with a few guys that are in the professional side of the business at the moment, including Nick Dacos. I understand you're on a camp with him when you were younger. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was. That was it was a Collingwood camp. My dad signed me up to it, and he was actually there, Nick Dacos. This was when we were probably like 10 years old. And yeah, got to mix in with him, and we had a bit of fun. And yeah, he was there. I think Callan Brown was there and Tyler Brown as well. So there's a video that goes around of the whole camp, and they're obviously in it, and that's been doing the rounds a bit since they've gone on to become AFL stars. So yeah, they're some players I mixed in with, but more seriously later, I probably spent time with. I played first 11 school footy, and yeah, got to play the likes of Caleb Sarong, who's obviously a star now, and Paddy Dow, Thompson Dow, his younger brother. Yeah, and probably I think it's been more than 10 players. Jai Caldwell as well is another one. So yeah, playing with them was quite a good experience, and yeah, like you sort of learn about the game, and especially that high level, being able to play with them. This is obviously before they got drafted into the AFL, but you being in the same team as them on the same footy field, yeah, I got to learn a lot about sort of a high level of footy and how it goes. So that was a great experience. I was probably the last picked player in the team, but despite that, it was good to be in the team, and yeah, like you picked up different things in the game, and yeah, my footy career peaked at under 12s. I won the best and fairest, so
very good.
After that, it was on the way down, but yeah, still got to play for these superstar players, and yeah, that was awesome. Yeah,
it helps you get a fair bit of appreciation for how good they actually are. Obviously growing up and playing with those kind of players, and picking their brains from a young age helps you get a little bit more insight into the world of AFL, and that probably helps you as well, giving that extra analysis with a show like Head Over the Footy. Heading back to Head Over the Footy, you sort of said and touched on briefly pre-show that you see there's a little bit of a gap in the market with it. What is that gap in the market in your eyes that you believe you're able to capitalise on with a platform like Head Over the Footy?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of written stuff in the media, like something happens in a game or something happens during the week, like we find out that Dustin Martin has been suspended and it hasn't been brought down to 2 weeks. It's remaining at 3, right? The news comes out, and I think there's a bit of a gap in the market we're getting a lot of written stuff, but just that video reaction of someone talking about that news or that big mark that was taken or that shock result, the biggest upset of the season. I think we're seeing a lot of that in writing form, but video is a little bit of a under-resourced, and we're not seeing as much. So that's where I really wanted to delve into. And like we're seeing with TikTok now, like a lot of people are on that platform, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. People are loving that way of consuming content rather than reading. People are loving the fact that someone is explaining something to them on video. So at Head Over the Footy, that's something we sort of want to delve into and really have it covered. So hopefully people watching at home can get that content, something that's really easy to consume and really lays it out for them. Rather than having to read a long story, you can get someone's face. You can get their full reaction. You know how they're feeling about it. So that's something that I think Head Over the Footy, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to start it was to try and fill that gap, which I think is present in AFL footy. I think some other sports probably do it a little bit better, and there's a few more creators. But I think in the AFL, I think that's an area that could certainly see an increase.
Yeah, I like it, Maxi. Obviously, social media is an evolving platform, and getting a little bit more personability between yourself as a reporter or someone who's got an opinion piece and providing it to a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of demand for that sort of content. So, I love the concept of bringing that about. Another piece of inspiration, which we touched on pre-show, haven't touched on it yet, but SEN. Now, you were a fair listener of the radio platform. There was a bit of inspiration behind you, I guess, kicking into Head Over the Footy as well. Tell us a little bit about that and maybe a few prizes being won.
Yeah. Oh, look, I obviously love sport, and I consume a lot of different radio platforms, and SEN is one of them. And I ring in on the odd occasion, and it might not be under my name, but I do ring in sometimes. And there was a period, like a month, where I have my periods where I'll ring in all the time, and then I won't ring in at all. And I had one of those times. I wasn't really working that much, had a lot of spare time, and I was ringing in a fair bit. And and in the space of 2 weeks, I reckon I rang up about 7 times and won 4 prizes.
Very good, very good.
So I think I won 2 Signet Boost power banks. So it was nice to have a second one. And I also got 2 Bataki hams, which I'm yet to use, and I need to go and claim them.
Yeah,
but
redeem them.
Yeah, but I thought and I also won this $100 voucher for some sports store, and that was ringing up. The Melbourne SEN didn't allow me on air because it was related to rugby, and it had to be AFL. So they told me to ring Sydney. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll just ring Sydney. Like, I've got something to speak about here. And I rang him, and it ended up being like an interview. We're going back and forth. Usually it's just caller comes on, you hang up on them, they're off. But yeah, won $100 prize from that, which was nice. And yeah, I just thought, if I'm winning these prizes, like, it's working, so let's give it a crack. Let's try something a bit further than this, and see what can happen. So that was another reason why I sort of wanted to start Head Over the Footy, was to get more of this stuff out there, see how I go, test the waters a bit, and yeah, I still got to go claim that Bataki ham.
I think that'll be of use, that ham, even if it comes around next Christmas. It's good to have a couple of them in the back pocket. Max, we've touched on the face value of Head Over the Footy, but we'll talk about going forward in 2024. What are the goals, and what do you hope to achieve through the podcast this year? Yeah,
well, we've launched it, which has been great. But now the next step is we've got our big podcast coming up. That'll be great, weekly. So that'll be a big ticket item. We're going to start introducing interviews, so having interviews with players, coaches, administrators, supporters, whatever. So we want to get the ball rolling on our interviews, and obviously we've got our new mics as well and our new setup. So want to get people coming through the door, a bit of a revolver door, and get people through and interviewing. So that'll be great. We've got our tipping comp. So it's really good. We've had a good response to that. More than 20 people have already entered. So hoping to get more people on board for that, because we'll be giving shout outs during our podcast, and we'll be giving shout outs to the people that are tipping well. It'll be a $10 prize every week to the best tipster. So if you get 9 out of 9, if someone else gets 9 out of 9 as well, the winner will be decided on who tipped the closest margin. So $10 per week, per round for that person, and then also a $100 cash prize for the winner overall at the end of the season. Now, these prizes might go up. We are looking for a sponsor. So if we're able to get a sponsor on board, we'll throw your business name up there, and it'll be business name, Head Over the Footy tipping competition. You'll get mentions every week. So from that, we might be able to up the price and up the prize pool. So, yeah.
100%, Max. There's always a good incentive to tip well, and a bit of monetary compensation will never go astray. In terms of reporting on Head Over the Footy, and I guess the type of angles that you take, like you obviously value that quite highly to report on and report on how you see it. What sort of angles will you be taking with the Head Over the Footy?
Yeah, like I want to find the right balance between positive and negative. Obviously, like a lot of people consume negative stories and they enjoy reading that. But yeah, like finding the balance, there's obviously so much going out there that's really good news and great stories. So just finding the balance, like I want people to know out there that sometimes there's going to be bad things that happen, and we're talking about, some disappointing things. But there's always positive things as well. And no matter what the circumstance is, like say it how you see it. By going with that, there's going to be positive and negative things. But it swings around in roundabouts, and so like just looking for a good balance between both positive and negative. So that's sort of the aim, and hopefully, we can find a really good situation there, and we're covering everything that's going on.
I like it, Max. I like it a lot. Your structure going forward in 2024, what will that look like for the average listener? Where can they expect to consume their content? When will they have access to it? What will that look like? Yeah,
well, obviously it's forever evolving, but we're looking to get content out quite often, especially when things happen in the game. So we've got our opinion side of head over the footy. We've got our reaction side, and then we've got interviews as well, and our podcast. So podcast every Monday will be coming out in the afternoon, so stay tuned for that. But then our opinion videos, they can come out at any time. So if something happens on a Thursday night, there's a bombshell selection, someone's been omitted for this reason, we'll jump on straight away and talk about it. So it just depends on when things happen. And if you know that something big has happened, you're going to know that there's going to be a video coming at Head Over the Footy. So that's sort of the way we're going about it with opinion. Reaction stuff is another one. So we're planning, it's not confirmed yet, but we're planning to have some live reaction of games. So watching games on the couch here right now and just enjoying the contest, having a live stream going. And our reaction here, my reaction, whoever I'm with, you'll be able to see it live there and then. Thinking of doing it just sort of games that are exclusive to Foxtel, because I understand some people don't have a KO subscription or Foxtel and they're unable to watch the game. So in that instance, you can tune into Head Over the Footy, watch the live stream, watch me and someone else or whoever tuning into the game, and hopefully there's a bit of entertainment there, and it will be a live stream, but at the end of every quarter is the plan. We're going to release a video. So there might be a specky in the first minute of the game. At quarter time, you'll be able to see my reaction to that specky. And you're going to know, you won't be able to see the video of the specky, but you'll know what it's about and what I'm reacting to. So should be a bit of fun there.
100%. Something different. It's good tapping into untried markets. I like it. And Max, the interviews is on the cards for 2024 as well?
Yeah, it is, yeah. So we're not too sure how it's going to look at the moment, but we've got our new equipment here, so we're going to be looking to get people on, maybe on a weekly basis, see how we go. But hopefully I can put a few feelers out there and people are keen to come on. So I'm going to get the ball rolling on that soon, ask a few people if they're keen to come on. And there should be some really good interviews there. So really looking forward to that because in my work as a journalist, I've done a lot of interviews and feel like, you build up a bit of skill in that area. So keen to delve into what people are doing and finding out a bit more about them, and also, seeing what's going on in their world. So interviews is certainly an area I'm looking to tap into, and you can follow all this on our socials. We've got different colours for interviews and podcast, opinion, reaction. So you'll know which one's which, and you can follow along.
Perfect, Max. I love the insight into Head Over the Footy. It's definitely something I'm looking forward to being a part of, and very lucky to do so. When can followers expect to hear the first episode drop?
Yes, next Thursday we'll be recording it, and that'll be our launch episode. So stay tuned. It's going to be a belter of a show. So the launch show will be on Thursday, and then every Monday after that we'll be recording an episode. So stay tuned. That should be really exciting, and very keen.
100%. Thanks so much, Maxie, for giving us a bit of an insight as to how Head Over the Footy will work. I think, as CSM, very, very happy to collaborate and looking forward to hearing a lot what you've got to say across 2024 in the footy sphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Forks. And yeah, very excited to be partnering with CSM. And yeah, it should be really good times ahead.
Awesome. Thanks very much, everyone, for listening. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into how Maxi goes about his work and the introduction of Head Over the Footy and their collaboration and partnership with CSM.